Do you wake up in the morning and find that you are breathing just in your chest? Maybe stomach ache, headache, feeling exhausted, you just woke up for the day. And the first thought you have on a Monday is that you can't wait till Friday. And so you're a super successful woman, have your own business, have a beautiful career path, the one you always thought you wanted. You got there and you realize that it wasn't anything like what you thought. And COVID has only held a mirror up to it to really reflect for you that you are so not happy where you are. That what once felt deeply meaningful to you now has no purpose, and you're wondering what the purpose is at all. So if any of that resonates for you, my name is Jen. I'm the founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness. I'm a purpose coach and expert. And what I do is I work with people who are just like you, who wake up in the morning on Monday and can't wait till Friday, who have maybe some health issues going on, maybe digestive problems, headaches, struggles physically, struggles emotionally, maybe anxious and depressed, maybe feeling guilty that like this magic job and career path or business that you wanted isn't anything like what you imagined, and you no longer have any fire for it, right? And so what I do is work with you to gain clarity around how that came to pass and where you want to go and how we can reignite that fire for you so that you can reconnect purpose to success. Whether that means you get to stay where you are or whether we need to make a transition of some kind for you, that's what we decide in the time that we work together. And so as a clinician of 20 plus years, one of the things I know that I talk with people about a lot was this idea of exploring. So today we're going to just talk about what explore means. And if you want to, please feel free to go back and do the vlog that I released this week. Listen to that because that's going to have more detail about where we're going. But I'm going to open this idea of explore. And you guys know I love acronyms. For those of you that have been following me in my coaching, you guys know I love acronyms. So explore means expanding the extrasensory perception leading onward to reawakened experiences. And like, what in the what does that mean? So where I wanted to take us in the month of July is being explorers in our own lives. And so that's really what we're talking about today. What does that mean? So as a therapist, one of the things I talked a lot about with people was taking a stance of objectivity and curiosity. And so very often, if you meditate with me, people will tell you distinctly that I say, no judgment. When we go in and take a look at where we are, the whole goal of it is to not attach any judgment whatsoever. Just be an observer. Just be curious about what's happening for you. Why the hell does that matter, right? Because it's like, what does that do for me? That is going to buy you the time to decide if you want to respond to something. And it's probably one of the greatest assets I actually got out of becoming a meditator was rather than always feeling I was coming from a place of reaction, right? Just like jumping into my reaction. Meditation and this kind of explorer stance bought me the opportunity to have some objectivity, which is super powerful. It's like a huge superpower we don't even know we have. And many of us don't like really wake up to it for a long time. I mean, I really, like I said, probably started really deeply meditating years ago was really when I started to develop this awareness of like, oh, I don't just have to be at the mercy of my feelings. I don't have to just be at the mercy of my thoughts. I don't have to just sit in this place. I actually actively have an opportunity to change and shift in every moment. And so that's really what we're going to talk about today. And so when I say expanding the extrasensory perception, what I want you to do is begin to really deeply tap into your experiences within your body and your senses and your soul. And so that's what we're going to really be flowing into in this month of July. And next week, I have a special guest, and she is amazing. She is a body worker and does craniosacral body work, and she is incredible. And so I've invited her because it really it marries nicely with this idea of stepping into the mind-body connection, being an explorer in that. So for today, I wanted to like throw out the acronym, take any questions if you have them, and start to talk about this curiosity. That the objectivity, right? That like, I can look at it out here. I don't have to just be at the mercy of the things that are coming for me and what that can tell us, right? So again, we're going to talk more with LD next week on Thursday at noon, same time, same channel. We'll be back here with our guest, and I'm super excited about that. And so we'll be on Instagram. So if anyone is just chiming in here somewhere else on another one of my socials, please come on over to Instagram. That's the easiest place to host guests in a really like slick way. And so that's where we're going to be. And I invite you to come on and join us. So I was this week, Tara Brach. This is Tara Brach's book, Trusting the Gold. And it was interesting. I joined a new book club / meditation community, really neat. And Tara Brach was suggesting this idea of softening. And I have had a really stressful week. I had a great long weekend. I hope you all did too. I hope you did something really super fun for the 4th of July. We had an incredible weekend with family, but it was late nights. It was more cocktails than I normally take in, not great food. It was all the things. Everybody's been there. All of us have been there. Short on sleeping in the heat, right? And so, hey, Eric, how are you? So I legitimately was pretty run down when I hit the week, had a couple of very stressful days and a couple of very stressful events. And today, and I'm just speaking from my truth so that, it's not like I'm a guru, right? I always talk about my own journey and I'm really transparent about that. And today I said to my husband, I feel really unmoored. I feel really unmoored. I feel really I don't get like that a lot. And I could tell on Monday night when I got home, I had stress. I'd forgotten a meeting, which I don't do. I'd forgotten a meeting we were supposed to have at 7:00. I was absolutely exhausted. I literally tapped out, right? Has anybody ever had this experience? I was ragey, and exhausted and not my best. And I had to make a self-care decision to be okay, I am not in the greatest space. So this is that exploration. What is happening for me right now? I mean, honestly, if the only thing you take away from our chat today is taking a minute to say for yourself, where am I at right now? What is happening for me? And it's all of a sudden, it's exploring. What do I mean? I want to look at my senses. How are my senses taking information in? What do the thoughts sound like? What am I feeling in my body? Today, I can tell shallow breathing. I can tell. I don't feel rested. I can tell there's things happening even within my body that are giving me information. Now, people go Jen, we don't need that. Yeah, you do. Because getting really great at reading these different cues is super informative. So one of the areas I think people can sometimes miss is that mind-body connection. Your body will tell you all kinds of things. I just recently had a coaching client say she was having a really bad day, was having a lot of thoughts, and she began to naturally pat her head. I just think this is the coolest. She just began to pat her head before she was leaving. She was stressed. She had all these thoughts. She's patting her head. She's like, I don't even know what the hell made me do it. I'm like, because you were naturally self-soothing. Your body was asking you to soothe it, to take care of it, right? Okay, that we pat babies. I rock. If I'm holding a baby, does anybody do this? I think this is fascinating. Pay attention, explore the things you do, you take for granted, that you probably don't realize you're actually soothing yourself or you're doing something that's trying to calm the nervous system. So normal. And what we do is we just get in the zone of doing and we forget to take in the details of the things that are really powerfully happening for us. So here's my point. Today, I noticed my breath. I knew I was having stress here. I noticed my breath. I went, ooh, mamacita. Something's not good here, right? Something's not good here. I could tell that my breath was hitching and halted and not at all the normal flow. My sense of my body is agitated. So I can tell that my level of feeling disconnected and not feeling at peace is greater than I even thought in my head. Once I started to assess, where am I right now? What is happening for me? I begin to explore using all of the senses. It's all of them, right? It's not one. It's not just what my thoughts are telling me. It's not even just what my emotions are telling me. I'm looking at all of the data. Gosh, my stomach is a little upset, which it is today. Always a common side effect for me. If stress is bad, I will tell you what, headaches, tummy aches. digestive problems. I guarantee it. So all of us is different, right? And it'll show up for each of us in a unique way. And that's really what I want you to begin tapping into. It's the idea of exploration without judgment. We're beginning to like put the headlamp on, right? I mean, my husband and I are hikers and we absolutely love like caving, which I know freaks everyone in the world out, but like we absolutely love it. Like I love going into those weird spaces where people won't take time to check them out. I love that. And but we take tools with us, right? So these things we're talking about are tools. Reading your senses, reading your body, looking for the things that are showing up for you that are telling you that something might be amiss. Where that's powerful is it's like being finely tuned, right? So you ever heard like a guitar that's like out of tune and it like sounds just like a rickety mess, right? Same idea. Same is true for us. If we're out of tune and I'm only using a couple of strings that are actually really working and functioning, I'm missing a whole bunch of layers of information. So this month, I'm inviting you to step fully in to exploring how your body and mind show up for you. What are they informing you is going on? So here's the cool thing. I might be in a meeting. Let me give you an example because I want to give an example. I'm in a meeting. Let's say it's a business meeting and I am supposed to present something and I don't feel prepared. I am doing the thoughts, I'm going to mess this up. This is not going to go well. My stomach begins to tighten. My breath begins to get shallower. So what I might find is that I might read my body before I actually really pick up the emotion of my distress. And I go, oh my God, look at that. I'm gripping. I'm like holding maybe in my shoulders. Maybe my shoulders are up here, right? Does anybody do this? I totally carry my stress in my neck and shoulders. So you might find yourself really like tied up. And you go, oh, okay. So here's where Tara Brach comes in. She talks about softening. She was going through something really uncomfortable in her life and was in the hospital. And she was talking herself through, I need to soften into this. That's what I'm going to invite you to do is to soften into the experience of exploring what's happening. And rather than having all of these ideas about how it should be or what it is, rather than getting carried away with the thoughts, rather than getting carried away with that, is take a minute to slow it down, soften and sink into it, take a few breaths, check the body head to toe. What is happening for me? How is my breath? How are my thoughts? How is my belly, my shoulders? Do I have an ache somewhere? Do I feel tense and tight and held up somewhere? Those are all parts of the equation for us. They're all parts of the equation. And we have more tools to use. We're going to get to that. Our senses can be a great tool. We're going to get to that in a couple of weeks. But I just wanted to start you all on this journey of exploring, because the more that we use our senses, the more finely tuned we become. And so we become this like well-oiled machine where I can tap into something like that and go, oh, there's something. Oh, there's something. Today, I said to my husband, I feel unmoored. I feel unmoored. I feel like out of sorts. And this is not my normal thing. And he was like, you need to go out in the studio and meditate, because he knows me well enough. He's like, oof, like this is not my normal cup of tea. And so I love his supportive feedback. Is like, you got to take some time and go and pull it in, get real clear. What is going on? Because you're sensing there is a lot of stuff coming at you and there's a lot of stress. And what is that about for you? So I invite you into the same journey. My friends, I'm exploring the same way you are. I want to say this very clearly. I think there's something so important to be said for when anyone is in here, whether they are a 30, 40, 50-year clinician, a doctor, a physician, it doesn't matter what the role, it doesn't matter what the background is. Everyone is doing the same work. Okay. And so I always tell even my coaching clients, I'm doing the same work y'all are doing. So this is nothing different for me. And it's why I use myself as an example, because I'll throw myself under the bus anytime for the point of education. Right. And so I'm working on softening. I'm working on, rather than gripping and wanting to lean away, because that's a really natural response. Right. And watching for this, explore the natural response you have to things. Right. Is your natural response when things get hard to run? Is your natural response when things get hard is to get angry? Right? So there's a lot of areas of who we are and the way that we're wired we can explore. And what happens is it expands us and it reawakens us to experience life in a totally different way. And that's what I'm really inviting you to do this week. How can you experience life in a totally different way? Can you handle bad moments in a totally different way? Can you handle sad moments in a totally different way? Can you listen for what your body and your senses are bringing in for extra information? That bonus information and awareness that's going to elevate your ability to step into the places that are hard and challenging. Furthermore, if we get good at it when it's hard, these are bonus awareness pieces that can actually really enhance our joy in the good moments. The stance of curiosity is key, and I'm going to leave you guys with that idea. This idea about being curious about the things that are happening and curious of the things that are happening within our bodies and our relationships in the way that we experience situations, people, places, our work, our businesses. When we begin to really look at what is really happening for me, you're getting these tells. They are your flags that something is going on. And these flags can be huge, huge signs for us that things are amiss. And really taking and running with that and growing that awareness allows you to step more fully into that path of purpose because you're more aware. Many of us, including myself, it's very easy to skip these parts. Very easy. And we don't want to skip the parts of awareness. We don't want to skip the parts where we're making a mind-body connection. We don't want to miss the parts that our senses are bringing in. We don't want to miss the gold that's in those places that are actually really huge tellers for us, because sometimes they will speak before our minds will or our hearts will. So if I can catch something in advance, right, think of the difference that makes for all of us. And so I just want to invite you into that. So next week, again, we're going to have a guest speaker. She's amazing. You're going to love her. We're going to learn about craniosacral work and making that mind-body connection, because I just am I'm such a firm believer that that's a layer of our work we can do that really, truly enhances the journey that we're on towards our path to purpose, but also just living the best kind of life that we can. So I hope you'll come back next Thursday at noon and join me with Aldine. She is going to be a great resource. I will guarantee you're going to walk away with some really great information. So what I would like to invite you all to do today as we exit, thank you first of all for joining me. Feel free to post comments or questions below, because I love, love, love questions. Questions are my favorite. They're always engaging and they always are a barometer for where everybody else is at. So I'll just guarantee you, if you ask a question, somebody else has a similar question. And I love that. So please feel free. But also I invite you over to my website, where I have a free path to purpose guide and also meditation. So if you want to head over to Laughing Lotus Wellness, laughinglotuswellness.com, you can go and check that out. It's front and center on my very first homepage. You can't miss it. So you can go in, Heather, and grab my freebie. And again, connect with me in any way you would like to after that. But I want to just encourage you to head on over for this freebie. Freebies are great, right? I love that kind of thing. So head on over and grab that if you're interested in continuing to walk on that path to purpose and reigniting the fire to step into a place of feeling purpose-driven and soul-driven. And we all need to make adjustments in our lives, all of us. And so I invite you, if you're in that place and you're like, gosh, I really feel like I could make some adjustments. I feel like I could step into this and I would really like to move into a direction of reconnecting to my purpose. That is exactly what I'm here for. So again, for that freebie, just head out to laughinglotuswellness.com, grab that freebie. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you'll come back next Thursday and join me with Aldine as we talk about that mind-body connection and how being an explorer in that space is incredibly powerful. So until next time, friends, this is Jen supporting you on your path to purpose.